Hello and welcome to today's video. Happy Sunday from here in Bali. I am Shell and this is my channel Akasha Love. This channel is all about making space for love within yourself and within others. So self-love and extending, overflowing from our love for self towards your relationship with others. So that's the content that I talk about here, all about personal growth, development, self-acceptance, self-love, self-honor, and growing healthy relationships and a healthy life from that space. So it's pretty hot today here. Normally I have the mountain in the background. Today I have mountain painting just because of the lights. I've been working on that for a few days. I don't know if you like it. I'm not sure. It's kind of my first really big landscape painting experiment. And I wasn't painting with a brush, I was painting with these kind of scalpel things, these kind of palette knives. So that's why really big strokes. Anyway, diversion. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about karma. So if you have studied in the yogic or the Buddhist traditions, you will know a little bit about karma. So both the Buddhists and also the Hindu religion and the yogic tradition all believe in this idea of karma. So karma, what does that mean? Basically, it's that you reap what you sow in life. So what you put out will come back to you. And I don't know about you, but in my life so far, I have seen that this is really a true principle. It works. So if you do good in the world and do good things and treat people well, then good things come back to you and people treat you well. And things grow from that goodness. And the same thing, if you do bad in the world, you do harmful things, painful things for other people, that's what you receive back. So it seems pretty simple, and it is fairly simple, but a lot of people don't really live their lives based around this principle. And it's actually, it's much more simple than religion, any kind of complicated or convoluted religion like Christianity, which has its 10 commandments and its deadly sins. Buddhism also has its Four Noble Truths and its Noble Eightfold Path. So all of those things are useful to follow for leading like a positive and a morally upright, beneficial life. But I think the law of karma is the most simple one to actually understand. So how you treat others is how you're going to be treated. So if you treat others with disrespect, if you treat them with mistrust, if you lie to people, if you manipulate people, then don't expect people to be treating you well or kindly back, because people don't appreciate that. It's never going to create, as they say in Buddhism, the causes and conditions for positive outcomes in your life. So I just have my Youniverse calendar here. This is my calendar I made for 2024. I did all the paintings. If you would like one of those for next year, you can still get one for this year, but you probably don't, given it's April. But if you would like one of these, you can subscribe to my mailing list on my website, akashalove.life, and you'll be the first to hear about when the 2025 edition of the Youniverse calendar comes out. Anyway, this edition the 2024, features my portraits that I've done of 12 amazing women. They're all very famous in different fields: artists, writers, political activists, international women of mystery. That's Mata Hari, the cover girl. Prime ministers. Here we have Julia Gillard. So yeah, I was inspired by all these women last year to put them in this calendar. And our December lady is actually Edith Piaf. And Edith Piaf was a megastar in France in her lifetime. Probably one of the most famous French singers in her lifetime. And still, since she died, she is known worldwide and loved worldwide, and many singers sing her songs, some of which she wrote, and then many which were actually written for her during her career. So for every woman that's in this calendar, I have a quote. And Edith Piaf's life was a tough life. She was brought up in a poor family, and I recently read that she had not a good relationship with her mother. And I know that she was, as it says here in the calendar, by the age of 14, she was actually performing in the street with her father as an acrobat, earning a living for the family. So she had a pretty tough upbringing. And then in her rise to fame, she also had a lot of struggles with drugs and alcohol. And she ended up actually dying at the age of 47, I think it was. Yeah, 47. I think that was a drug-related death. I remember that from the movie about her life, La Vie en Rose, that I saw some years back. So yeah, she had a hard life, and I guess that's where she sourced a lot of her soul and the passion that she channeled into her beautiful songs. So a quote from Edith Piaf: "Every damn thing you do in life, you have to pay for it." I like that. So that's basically karma, yeah. So how this relates to what I've been talking about on this channel recently a little bit, these difficult relationships with narcissistically inclined people that many people find themselves in. And the people that find themselves in those are often highly sensitive people, empathetic people, people pleasers, people who have, like Ross Rosenberg says, a self-love deficit, not enough love for themselves. So, as I said in one of these recent videos, people who have a self-love deficit get into relationships with people who have too much self, basically the opposite problem. I think in part, because this has also been my experience, in part to learn the lesson from these people. So although it's generally a very painful lesson, because being in a relationship with a totally self-focused, selfish, self-absorbed person who has very low empathy and who's only really looking out for themselves in the relationship is deeply painful. But what you can learn from these people is to look after yourself better, to have a stronger sense of self. If this is you, if you find yourself in relationships with these kinds of people. So this is the way that you can flip the victim script and stop feeling really bad for yourself. Although, of course, there is a grieving process and a grieving time where I totally recommend that you do feel all those feelings, and that you do really understand how deeply painful it is to be in such a relationship. I absolutely don't recommend any bypassing of those feelings. I don't recommend any spiritual bypassing either. So, but when you have gone through that grieving process, it's really helpful to be able to just see that person, that very self-focused person, as your teacher for growing a stronger sense of yourself, for growing stronger boundaries, and for growing more self-worth, and for owning your sovereignty and just stepping into deeper power in the world as you move about the world, knowing your value, not selling yourself short, not giving yourself away, not doing things for free, which should not be done for free. Yeah, so these kinds of very self-focused people who generally would never to give themselves away or do things for free, they can be our teacher. But what I wanted to say also related to Edith Piaf's quote, "You have to pay for everything in life," is that karma is a bitch and karma is real. So don't worry too much about payback or revenge, or getting revenge on people such as these narcissistic people that you might have been in a relationship with, because karma does its job for them. Everybody receives what they give out, and nobody is an exception to that rule. I truly believe this. So if people are going around in the world selfishly, just taking things from others, not being considerate, lying to people, manipulating to people, doing whatever they can just to get their own needs met and not really caring about anyone else, then karma is coming for them, and they will suffer the ramifications of those actions. Whether that suffering just be that they will be lonely in their life because they won't have many real friends, because who can really be a true friend to somebody like that? So yeah, karma is real. It's in action all of the time, every minute, every second of the day. And that means that you get out what you put out there in the world. But of course, that also doesn't mean that just focusing on other people, being a people pleaser, sacrificing yourself is a good thing to do or a good attitude to have. Absolutely is not a good attitude to have, and it's not a something to be proud of. You can absolutely be a good person in the world, treat people well, yeah, hold yourself in high esteem, treat people well, do good things for others, create beautiful energy out in the world without sacrificing yourself. And actually, you can do a lot more good out in the world when you don't sacrifice yourself. So people who do have this tendency to be a people pleaser or an empath or a highly sensitive person, if that's you, I think this is really our biggest lesson in our life, is to take care of our own selves first, keep our own house in order, and really work on that piece of owning our own self-worth, validating our own self-worth, knowing what we should be paid for our work out in the world, knowing that we absolutely worthy to receive money for all of our contributions, and knowing how valuable those contributions are. So when we can get all those ducks in order, ducks in a line if you like, from in ourselves first, then we are able to really go out and be a force for good in the world. If we are coming instead from a place, a position of people pleasing, a position of just seeking approval or seeking acceptance or just wanting people to like us, we are not going to create so much impact in the world, because we're basically coming from a disempowered place and from like a begging or a pleading place. That's not a place from which we can create really powerful actions and powerful energies out in the world. So yes, I think that's what I wanted to talk about to you today. So just remember that taking care of yourself is absolutely not at all selfish. It actually is the foundation for you making a really healthy contribution. It's the foundation for you living in healthy relationship with everyone and everything in your life. Because everything in life is relationship, whether we're in relationship with ourselves, which is our first relationship, and then in relationship with our families, or with our friends, with our colleagues. We're even in relationship with our spaces, with our homes, with our towns we live in, with our countries. It's all of this is relationship. So building a strong sense of self, a healthy self-worth, and healthy boundaries is the place from which we can be in healthy relationship with everyone and everything in our life. So yeah, just remember that karma will take care of anything else. So karma will take care of people that may have been really harmful towards us when we were a little less aware, and when we didn't have strong boundaries, when we allowed people to use or abuse us. Karma will take care of them. We don't need to worry about that. We need just to focus on ourselves, on our own well-being, and on keeping our own house in order. So, lesson today from the beautiful Edith Piaf, who is featured on December page of the Youniverse calendar. As I said, if you're interested in getting one of these calendars, the next year's edition, sign up to my website. I will put the link down below, or maybe write it here. Sign up to my mailing list. So that's my Sunday sermon for you today, Sunday speech. I hope that you have a beautiful day. Look after yourself. Remember to trust yourself, love yourself. Remember you are a beautiful, divine human being, and remember that you are the author of your life. You are the creator of your karma. So go out and do some beautiful things for yourself and others today. Lots of love from Bali.